Hey guys, James with Torches and Tactical, and today we're going to be talking about the NEXTORCH Pioneer, because as a 12-year veteran of the armed forces, preparedness has always been something that is paramount for me. Whether it's a flashlight so I can always see in the dark, hence the name of the channel, or a knife, or even a multi-tool, I've always wanted to make sure that I can get into somewhere I need to or get out of somewhere I need to. And a multi-tool is some way that I've always been able to make sure that that gets done. Now, I have, again, been in the military for over 12 years. I've always carried some sort of Gerber or Leatherman or some sort of multi-tool, and now I think we might have a contender for a replacement. This is, again, the NEXTORCH Pioneer, and I'm not going to lie, I'm probably going to have to resort to the instructions or the manual because there are so many features on this, including rescue shears, and I have tested these quite a bit. They work fantastic. But that being said, I do want to talk about everything that came in at first. There's not a lot, but I do want to talk about the packaging and everything that came in at first so you know what you're getting. So for starters, you do get the Pioneer multi-tool inside this NEXTORCH box. Now this is the first time I've seen this style of, I guess, side flip, if you want to call it that, of packaging from NEXTORCH, but it does have their standard green and white packaging. You can see on the back. So you've got a list of 14 items, and we're going to run through all those here real quick for you. You can see that it does come in at 109 millimeters by 38 millimeters by 28 millimeters. So it's going to be 28 in this dimension, 39 by 109. And the blade length is 54 millimeters, and the whole thing comes in at 268 grams. You don't have to worry about a battery on this one, so it's just straight 268 grams. So let's get the packaging out of the way. And you do get a pouch as well, and I do got to say that it's very, very firm. It's soft, but it does hold its shape. So no matter where you might find yourself, you can always get this clipped to a belt. And I found that this does work quite well on Molly because it does have the strap there. It does hold quite secure. It has the NEXTORCH logo on that tab right here. I mean, it looks really, really nice, and it does keep your Pioneer protected. It's a lot stiffer than some of the Gerber soft pouches from their older ones that I'm used to seeing. So let's get this out of the way. And then you have your manual. And again, this will run through everything for it. You can see right there, has the list of all that's on it, and that's going to come in 7 different languages. So there's a translation pretty much for anyone who may be interested in the NEXTORCH Pioneer. Let's get this out of the way. All right, and now if we look at the Pioneer, I will go ahead and tell you guys right now, the very first item on the list is a plastic handcuff cutter. So this dial right here, you can see it shows lock in the upright position and unlocked down. So you simply pull that down, and this comes out, and this holds quite a bit of cutting power. However, the blades do sit a little bit on the loose side, so if you do try to cut something like paracord, it's not going to be your best bet for that. It does get stuck in there. But when it comes to cutting hard plastic, it does work fantastic, and I assure you of that. So let's go ahead and close that up. Now, if we pop this open, it does have an O2 wrench right here on the same side. So if you are one that finds scuba or any other sort of aquatic activities, I guess you could say, it does have the perfect size for opening up your O2 tanks right here. So this is actually 13 on the list, if I remember correctly. So if these are a little out of order, I do apologize, but we are going to close it back up. And I want to show you guys, it does have a saw. And this is a very aggressive angle and cut. You can see here, I will bring it up here for you. Quite aggressive. And one thing I do like is you do have almost a spine lock right here. So once it's open, it's going to lock in place. You don't have to worry about it closing on your fingers, none of that. So I really, really do appreciate that. And one thing I will say while we're still on this side, one thing I do really appreciate is the fact that this pocket clip, I've had a couple Leathermans, especially the Wave. The Leatherman Wave had a pocket clip that moved around so easily because it was only anchored in one spot, that it got kind of annoying, if I'm being frank. One thing I really like about this is it's anchored twice on top and then once on the side, so there's no moving this around. You can throw it in your pocket. It has a lot of spring resistance and it's not going to go anywhere. But I digress from the pocket clip, because you do see it does have an 80 millimeter or 8 centimeter ruler. Now, I do wish it had standard measurements, because I am in the land of freedom in the United States, so I would have liked to see that. But additionally, it can be a little hard to read unless it's at the perfect angle on that black stonewash finish. Now, real fast, I will tell you that this does have a really, really fantastic finish, and it's very sturdy too. It's been holding up quite well, because it's that blackened coating, and it has been stonewashed. So it's expected to look, not 100% matte, not 100% perfect, but it stays consistent even after a little bit of abuse. So we will open this back up, and I showed you these earlier. It does have those rescue shears, so these work quite well. Now this, on the other hand, this will cut very easily that paracord. I don't want to get my finger too close, but this will cut that paracord without issue here. I can pull a couple of these that I just cut. I mean, zero hesitation, zero issue. I barely felt any resistance even cutting through that. So very, very nicely done. So I want to go ahead and close at least part of that up, because I do want to show you the outside of the other half. Now you do also receive a blade. Now this comes in at a 75-degree angle, and it has that same spine lock right here. So this holds its edge very, very well. And that does come in as a 50 CR 115 MOV blade. So it's been holding sharp plenty for what I need. And frankly, I haven't gotten to the point where I've needed to sharpen it yet, but I know when it comes down to it, it'll be something that is going to be easily accessible, because it does hold out from the rest of the handle. So you can see there. Let's go ahead and close that up. And then just on the other side of that, you do have a flathead screwdriver. And one nice thing about this is it locks in place here. This is kind of full extension, if you will, and it's kind of offset. So if you do need a screwdriver, it has a more natural motion, and it lets you unscrew whatever you need. But if you pull out this belt cutter here, if you pull out the belt cutter halfway, it will disengage this back lock right here, and it actually lets you pull this out, because this flathead screwdriver tip is replaceable. So you can contact NEXTORCH to be able to replace that, but I'll put that back in for now. So you can see there is a single side edge on this belt cutter. So if you find yourself in a position where, it works as any seatbelt cutter. So if you need to cut a seatbelt during an emergency situation, very easily pop that out. It is quite accessible, just right here from the side. You don't have to worry about unfolding anything, so they definitely kept that as a priority. So if you are in a situation, emergency situation, you can do that very, very easily. Let's go ahead and pop this open one more time, because you may think that opening once is no party trick. You get those rescue shears by opening once, but that other side folds out even further, and you do get a set of pliers. So those pliers are really, really nice. You can see here, it's kind of an offset or single side needle nose pliers. You can grip in here. So it does have an open throat a little bit, and then you have wire cutters in there as well. Now, I haven't had to use the wire cutters, but if they function anywhere near as well as Leatherman or even Gerber, I think that they're going to work very, very well. So I will say ahead of time that as this pair of pliers, it's hard to find a more comfortable position. I do prefer where they're more symmetrical. So when it comes to using the pliers, they're not my favorite, but they do apply a lot of pressure, and you can throw anything you need in here. You can grip a nut or a bolt head with the inner jaw. So it does work quite well. Now, if we pop these back in, I was reviewing my notes and I forgot to tell you guys that when you have these open, you can see the inside right here. So you can see the inside right there, and that's because when you have them closed, you can use this as a bottle opener. So it'll leverage basically like this. You can use this as a bottle opener, and that will pop open any of your soda can lids or what have you. But there's a ton of features available on this NEXTORCH Pioneer, and again, I've been using it for a number of days now. As my primary, I always have a secondary in my glove box, but this has been my primary on my persons at all times. And I showed you that it cuts paracord very, very easily. And I mean, I don't know what else you could need. If there's an attachment that you'd like to see on the next version of the NEXTORCH Pioneer, go ahead and leave that down in the comments, because I know that they are all about that innovation. And when it comes down to it, they want to make sure that their customers are happy. So down in the description, I will leave a link so you can check out the NEXTORCH Pioneer for yourself if this is something that you find interesting. In addition to that, I do truly appreciate you guys liking this video, and if you could subscribe to the channel, and when you subscribe, go ahead and click on that bell notification, because that's going to let you guys know when we have new videos, and even more, not peculiar, but kind of out of the norm videos like the NEXTORCH Pioneer. So thank you guys so much, and we'll see you in the next one.